Move if you dare. You've been poisoned by my unique venomous GU. Without the antidote, you'll surely turn into a pool of blood in 7 days. Compared to Lord Hua Ju, I'm nothing. I was foolish and blind to offend him. Lord Hua Ju, I beg you, in the name of my clan's past hospitality, spare my life. On the cliff wall, the scene began to replay for the second time. Phuong Nguyen remained silent. Only when the image looped a third time did he sigh and murmur. So that's how it is. The images and sound imprinted on the cliff had been recorded by Hua Ju's memory retention GU, a type of GU that could store and replay events. It had survived in this hidden cave by absorbing both light and sound. While the origin of the cave remained a mystery, its faint red glow and the open crevices allowed the sound of the nearby waterfall to echo through. Phuong Nguyen must have disturbed the memory retention GU when he moved aside the dried vines. It wasn't hard to deduce the truth from the images. This was no mere illusion. Years ago, the fourth clan leader's failed ambush on Hua Ju had led to his own demise. Despite managing to drive the GU master back, to cover up this shameful chapter, the surviving elders twisted the story, casting the fourth clan leader as a hero and Hua Ju as a vanquished demon. But one glaring flaw remained. If Hua Ju had truly been slain, why was another body later discovered? My B-grade aptitude only allows my primeval seed to store up to 44% at its peak. The speed at which the GU consumes my primeval essence far exceeds my recovery rate. To refine this GU, I'll need external aid, in other words, primeval stones. The weaker the GU's will, the less resistance it puts up, making it easier to refine. But any living creature has a survival instinct. To refine this moonlight GU, I'll need a minimum of 5 stones, possibly as many as 8. Through his deep cultivation experience, Phuong Nguyen calculated the total amount of primeval stones he'd need. Currently, refining the wine GU will take at least 11 stones. And at most, 16. The wine GU, like the moonlight GU, was a first-rank GU, but its rarity made it much harder to refine. In other words, even though Phuong Nguyen possessed 17 stones, if he refined only the wine GU, he'd be left with at most 6. Or at worst, just 1. Under the serene moonlight, Phuong Nguyen wandered back to the inn. The crescent moon bathed the village in a soft glow, and the bamboo houses lining the road shimmered like scattered jade pieces. The gentle night breeze stirred the air as he arrived at the inn. The door was shut. Phuong Nguyen knocked. "Who's there so late? I heard you," the inn's servant grumbled, half awake as he opened the door. But upon seeing Phuong Nguyen, his demeanor shifted. His sleepiness and dissatisfaction disappeared, replaced by a fawning smile. "Ah, it's you, young master. What luck for me to be the one opening the door for you." Phuong Nguyen nodded coldly and entered, his expression stern. His indifference only made the servant grovel further. "Young master, are you hungry? Should I have the kitchen prepare a late-night meal for you?" "No need." Phuong Nguyen shook his head. "Just bring me some hot water. I want to wash." "Of course." The servant bowed repeatedly. "Young master, please head to your room. The water will be delivered immediately." As Phuong Nguyen ascended the stairs to the second floor, the servant watched him go. His eyes filled with envy. "So that's a GU master. Huh? How I wish I had the aptitude for cultivation." He clenched his fists, sighing heavily. Phuong Nguyen overheard the remark and couldn't help but smirk to himself. A GU master may wield power far beyond ordinary mortals, but they paid a steep price for it. The first challenge was always resources. Cultivation demanded primeval stones. Battles required primeval stones. Refining GU took primeval stones. Even trading involved primeval stones. Without them, one couldn't advance. But the inn servant, a mere bystander in this life, would never understand the struggles that came with being a GU master. Like that young GU master, Zhang Ya, earlier this evening, who had thrown his wine jug in frustration. "I can't even afford a flask of green bamboo wine. Yet you lowly hunters have the money for luxuries like this." His words alone revealed the hardships of cultivation. GU masters may have great power and earn more than ordinary people, but their expenditures were equally enormous. Every single stone had to be used sparingly. For low-ranking GU masters like Phuong Nguyen, This truth hit especially hard. The higher a GU master's rank, the greater their resource needs. Without a solid backing, the path of cultivation was treacherous and filled with obstacles. Phuong Nguyen had learned this lesson well in his previous life. Upon reaching his room, Phuong Nguyen lit a lamp just as the servant brought up the hot water and washing supplies. After sending the servant away and locking the door, Phuong Nguyen washed up and sat cross-legged on his bed. Though physically tired, he felt an undeniable excitement within. Finally, the wine GU is mine. Its value surpasses that of the moonlight GU. In some ways, it can even enhance a GU master's aptitude. Phuong Nguyen took out the wine GU, which was still snoring peacefully. It was slightly larger than the moonlight GU. Its smooth, white body resembling that of a tiny silkworm. Under the soft light, its skin glistened like polished pearl, and its two beady black eyes gave it an innocent, endearing look. It was light in his hand, about the weight of half an egg. When Phuong Nguyen brought it close to his nose, he could faintly smell a hint of wine, not the sharp scent of green bamboo wine, but the gentle, natural fragrance unique to the wine GU itself. He inhaled the scent deeply, and as the aroma entered his body, it flowed into his primeval sea. His primeval sea churned, soon absorbing the wine's essence. A strand of pure primeval essence emerged, but unlike the rest, which shimmered green and bronze, this strand was a vibrant blue-green, denser and more refined. This is the essence of a mid-stage first-rank GU master. Phuong Nguyen mused, though my cultivation is still in the early stages. With the wine GU's refinement, my primeval essence will reach the mid-stage. Its benefits are beyond words. Yet he soon regained his composure. However, I haven't fully refined the wine GU. Only once it becomes my life-bound GU will I be able to wield it freely and maximize its potential. With this thought, he wasted no time, summoning a stream of bronze-green essence from his primeval sea. The essence coiled around the wine GU, suspending it before him, and began to seep into its body. Sensing a threat to its life, the wine GU immediately awoke, thrashing and summoning its strength to repel Phuong Nguyen's essence. This wine GU's resistance is strong, Phuong Nguyen muttered, his expression becoming more serious. He could feel that the rate of essence consumption was twice that of when he had refined the moonlight GU. No matter, I've decided to refine the wine GU. His eyes glinted with determination as he continued to envelop the wine GU in his essence. The candle flickered quietly, illuminating the center of the room while the far corners remained shrouded in shadow. The flame cast a soft glow over Phuong Nguyen's face as he sat with his eyes closed, focused solely on his struggle with the wine GU. Bronze-green essence flowed from him like a thick mist, slowly encircling the GU. The wine GU hovered in the air, mere inches from Phuong Nguyen's face, writhing and resisting the essence that sought to tame it. Time passed in silence. The candle burned lower, and its light grew dim. The crescent moon outside the window gradually sank beneath the horizon as a new day began. As the first rays of sunlight filtered through the window, Phuong Nguyen opened his eyes. The wine GU, now streaked with a faint green hue, floated before him. This was the result of half a night's effort. Yet the green hue covered less than a tenth of its body. Phuong Nguyen's expression turned serious. The wine GU's will was far stronger than he had anticipated, and its resistance was more formidable than a typical first-rank GU. This GU must have once been the life-bound GU of Waju, the legendary rogue GU master. Phuong Nguyen thought, piecing the truth together. Waj. Here is the translated version of your Shenxia story passage, adapted for an American audience with the Shenxia style and structure preserved, making the narrative feel close, engaging, and immersive. In his past life, the GU master who found this place had likely been terrified upon witnessing this replay, though the elders who orchestrated the cover-up had long since passed. The truth must have been guarded closely by the upper echelons of the clan, wary of Waju's potential return. The GU master who discovered the relic must have realized the danger of keeping it for himself. Should his ties to Waju be revealed, the clan would have no choice but to eliminate him. After weighing the risks, he had likely reported the find to the clan's leaders, solidifying his loyalty. It turned out to be a wise decision for him. But Phuong Nguyen had no such intentions. I went through all this trouble to find the relic. And I planned to keep it for myself. Why share it with anyone else? If I'm caught, so what? No risk, no reward. That GU master was a coward. Phuong Nguyen sneered coldly. Ignoring the replaying image, he turned away and tore the dried vines aside completely. The bones of Hua Ju's body crumbled under his movements, breaking into several pieces. Phuong Nguyen kicked away a stray thigh bone with little care and squatted down to search the relic. His first discovery was a pouch of primeval stones, 15 in total. How pathetic, he muttered, disappointed. For a figure as illustrious as Hua Ju, the stash seemed meager. But after a moment's thought, he understood why. After all, Hua Ju had suffered grievous injuries in battle and had likely used up many stones to heal himself. His search continued, uncovering dead GU remnants, primarily plant-based types that had long since withered away. GU, like any living being, required nourishment, and most were quite particular. The plant-based GU had perished in the cave's total lack of sunlight. As Phuong Nguyen sifted through the remains, it became clear there was little left to find. After battling the fourth clan leader and his elders, Hua Ju had expended most of his GU. When he reached the cave, he had tried to heal using the wine sack GU and the rice grass GU. But in the end, he succumbed to the moonlight poison GU. 3 centuries later, nearly all of his GU had died off. The only surviving GU were the memory retention GU and a wine GU. The wine GU had likely survived by feeding on the wine sack GU, which itself had withered away, forcing it to search for wild-growing wine sack plants. Attracted by the scent of Phuong Nguyen's bamboo wine, the wine GU had come to him that very night. The memory retention GU can only record once. It's a consumable GU. But the wine GU, now that's the real prize here. No wonder the GU master had second thoughts about keeping this hidden. The rewards were too small to justify such a big risk. Phuong Nguyen suddenly understood. The GU master had been a third-rank practitioner, and the wine GU was merely a first-rank insect. Valuable to Phuong Nguyen, perhaps, but hardly worth the risk for a more advanced GU master. Nonetheless, the GU master had reported the find and was handsomely rewarded by the clan. Should I report this to the clan? Phuong Nguyen toyed with the thought briefly before dismissing it. Hua Ju's legacy consisted of nothing more than the wine GU and some primeval stones. But the real treasure lay in the memory retention GU hidden within the cliff, or, more precisely, in the damning image it replayed. That image could be sold to rival camps on Green Bamboo Mountain. Phuong Nguyen was sure the leaders of the other 2 strongholds would pay handsomely for such evidence to weaken the clan's reputation. What? Family honor? Loyalty? Phuong Nguyen smirked. He had none. Besides, this wasn't some devastating revelation that would lead to the destruction of the clan. It wouldn't cause that much harm. And the cold, detached clan wouldn't care about him either. He had to rely on himself, expanding his resources for cultivation. In the early stages of cultivation, one had to rely on support from many places. Rely on the clan? Phuong Nguyen sneered inwardly. How naive I was in my past life. Trust no one. In this world, everything must be seized with your own hands. Satisfied that he had scoured the cave thoroughly, Phuong Nguyen made his way back the way he came. Pressing against the water's pressure, he squeezed out from behind the boulder and emerged outside once more. Looking back at the boulder, Phuong Nguyen recalled the memories of his past life, how the discovery of bones had been said to have come from an underground cave. But this place wasn't underground at all. It was hidden within the mountain wall. No wonder it had taken him 7 days without finding anything. In his previous life, the clan must have destroyed the image on the cliff before leaking a mixture of truth and lies to deceive the clan members. The fact that he had uncovered the cave tonight was part luck, part skill. But ultimately, he owed it to the bamboo wine. Its fragrance was truly unmatched on Green Bamboo Mountain. Perhaps, in his past life, the heartbroken GU master had also tasted this very wine. But none of that mattered now. Hua Ju's legacy had been all but stripped clean by Phuong Nguyen. Although the rewards were modest, they were appropriate for the effort. The most important prize was the wine GU, the very Gu Phuong Nguyen had been seeking, and the primeval stones he needed for his cultivation. Next, I'll focus on refining this Gu in my hotel room. Once I have my life-bound Gu, I can return to the academy and qualify for the student dorms, where I can access the clan's cultivation resources. Staying in the hotel a few more nights was fine, but long-term, it would drain his resources too quickly. With his plan in mind, Phuong Nguyen set off back towards the camp. With my B-grade aptitude, my primeval C can only hold up to 44% of its total capacity. The speed at which Gu worms deplete primeval essence far exceeds my ability to recover it on my own. To refine a Gu worm, I have no choice but to rely on external forces. In other words, I need primeval stones. The weaker the Gu's will, the easier it is to refine. But all living beings possess a survival instinct. To refine the moonlight Gu, I'll need at least 5 primeval stones, 8 at most. Phuong Nguyen calculated the total amount of primeval stones he would need, drawing from his vast cultivation experience. Currently, refining the wine Gu will require a minimum of 11 stones and up to 16 at most. Although the wine Gu was also a first-ranked Gu like the moonlight Gu, it was rarer, and therefore, much harder to refine. In other words, even with the 17 stones Phuong Nguyen currently possessed, refining the wine Gu alone would leave him with a maximum of 6 stones. Or possibly just 1. Beneath the tranquil night sky, the crescent moon cast a gentle glow over the land. The moonlight caressed County Way Village, where bamboo houses lined the streets like scattered pieces of jade. A cool night breeze rustled softly as Phuong Nguyen made his way back to the inn. The inn's doors were shut. Phuong Nguyen knocked firmly. I heard you. Who's knocking so late? The inn's servant muttered as he opened the door, rubbing his eyes groggily. But the moment he saw Phuong Nguyen, his irritation vanished, replaced by a sycophantic smile. Ah, young master, what a blessing to have the honor of opening the door for you. Phuong Nguyen gave a curt nod and walked inside without a word. His cold demeanor only made the servant more eager to please. Young master, are you hungry? Would you like me to have the kitchen prepare a late-night snack for you? No need, Phuong Nguyen replied, shaking his head. Just bring me some hot water. I need to wash. Right away, the servant hurriedly bowed. Young master, please return to your room. The hot water will be brought up immediately. As Phuong Nguyen ascended the stairs to the second floor, the servant watched him, envy flickering in his eyes. So, that's what it's like to be a Gu master. If only I had the aptitude for cultivation, he muttered, clenching his fists in frustration. Phuong Nguyen overheard this and smirked to himself. Gu masters may wield powers far beyond those of ordinary mortals, but their path was fraught with steep costs. The greatest of these was resources. Cultivating required primeval stones. Battling required primeval stones. Refining Gu required primeval stones. Even trading involved primeval stones. Without them, how could a Gu master progress? The inn's servant, a mere bystander to this world, couldn't possibly understand these struggles. Earlier that evening, the young Gu master, Zhang Ya, had vented his frustrations on a group of hunters, smashing his wine jug in anger. I can't even afford a flask of green bamboo wine, but you lowly hunters have money to spare? His outburst was a clear reflection of the harsh realities faced by lower-ranked Gu masters. Though Gu masters held greater power and earned more than common folk, their expenses were monumental. Each stone had to be carefully calculated. For low-ranking Gu masters like Phuong Nguyen, the struggle was even more evident. As the Gu master advanced in rank, their need for resources grew. Without support, cultivating was an arduous and nearly impossible journey. Phuong Nguyen had experienced this firsthand in his previous life. Once back in his room, Phuong Nguyen lit a lamp as the servant brought a basin of hot water and a clean cloth. After sending the servant away, Phuong Nguyen locked the door and washed up. Though physically drained, a sense of excitement coursed through him. Finally, the wine Gu is mine. It's more valuable than the moonlight Gu and, in some ways, can even enhance a Gu master's aptitude. Phuong Nguyen settled into a meditative posture on his bed and brought out the wine Gu. Still peacefully slumbering, the wine Gu was slightly larger than the moonlight Gu. its smooth white body resembling that of a tiny silkworm. Under the soft light, its skin gleamed like polished pearls, and its two beady black eyes gave it an innocent, almost endearing appearance. Holding it in his hand, Phuong Nguyen felt its lightness, no heavier than half an egg. As he brought it closer to his nose, a faint scent of wine wafted into the air, not the sharp scent of green bamboo wine but the natural, delicate fragrance of the wine Gu itself. He inhaled deeply, and the wine's essence flowed into his body, finding its way into his primeval sea. The sea stirred, absorbing the essence as a strand of pure, refined primeval energy materialized. Unlike the greenish-bronze glow of his other primeval energy, this new strand was a deep blue-green, denser and more potent. This is the energy of a mid-stage first-rank Gu master. Phuong Nguyen thought with satisfaction. Even though my cultivation is only at the early stage, the Winegu's refined energy will elevate my primeval sea to mid-stage. Its benefits can't be fully described in mere words. But he quickly composed himself. However, I haven't completely refined the wine Gu yet. Only once it becomes my life-bound Gu will I be able to fully control it and maximize its potential. With this thought, he wasted no time, summoning a stream of bronze-green energy from his primeval sea. The energy coiled around the wine Gu, suspending it in the air before him as he began the process of refining it. Facing his brother's questioning, Phuong Nguyen said nothing, calmly continuing his breakfast. He knew his younger brother's impatience all too well. Sure enough, after a moment of silence, seeing that his elder brother wouldn't even look at him, treating him as if he were invisible, Phuong Chin shouted in frustration, "Brother, what did you do to Tram Tui? After she left your room yesterday, she cried her eyes out. I tried to comfort her, but it only made her cry harder." Phuong Nguyen glanced up at his brother, his face emotionless. Phuong Chin furrowed his brow, glaring at his elder brother, awaiting a response. The tension between them thickened, yet Phuong Nguyen simply glanced at him and then returned to his meal. Unfazed, Phuong Chin's temper flared immediately, his breathing growing heavy. This blatant disregard for him felt like a slap in the face. Overcome with embarrassment, he slammed the table with his palm, yelling, "Phuong Nguyen, how could you do this? That girl has served you for years with utmost care. Yes, I know you're frustrated, and I can understand your disappointment. Your aptitude is only B grade, but that's no reason to take out your anger on someone else. It's not fair to her." Before he could finish, Phuong Nguyen stood abruptly, his hand moving like lightning. Smack! A sharp, clear slap rang through the room as Phuong Nguyen struck his brother across the face. Phuong Chin staggered back 2 steps, clutching his cheek, eyes wide in disbelief. "You insolent fool!" Phuong Nguyen snapped, his voice cold and hard. "What tone is that to use with your elder brother? Tram Tui is nothing more than a lowly maid, yet you forget your place because of her?" Phuong Chin blinked, the sting of the slap sinking in waves of pain. He panted, struggling to process what had just happened. "Brother, you hit me? You've never hit me before." "Yes, I know I have a grade aptitude, and you only have B grade. But how is that my fault? That was determined by fate, not me." Smack! Another slap, this time on the other cheek, sent Phuong Chin reeling. He clasped both sides of his face, utterly bewildered, foolish and naive. Phuong Nguyen continued, his voice dripping with disdain. "Do you remember nothing? Who took care of you when our parents died? When New Year's came, and uncle and aunt gave us just one set of new clothes? Did I wear it? No, I gave it to you. And when you cried for fruit syrup porridge as a child, who made sure you had an extra bowl every day? When others bullied you, who was it that stood up and fought back for you? And now, for a mere maid, you dare question me?" Phuong Chin's face flushed red, his lips trembling. Shame and anger warred within him, but no words came out. Everything his brother said was true. "Fine," Phuong Nguyen said with a derisive laugh. "You threw away your own parents for someone else. So what does that make me? Your elder brother? Brother, how could you say that? You know how much I've longed for warmth and family since we were children." Phuong Chin protested, his voice trembling. Phuong Nguyen waved his hand dismissively, cutting him off. "From today onwards, you are no longer my brother. And I am no longer your elder brother." "Brother," Phuong Chin gasped, trying to speak, But Phuong Nguyen's voice cut through once more. Don't you like Tram Thuy? Don't worry, I didn't touch her. She's still pure, untouched. If you give me 6 primeval stones, I'll hand her over to you. From now on, she'll be your personal maid. Brother, why are you? Phuong Chin stammered, his thoughts spiraling. His worst fears were unfounded. But the shock of Phuong Nguyen's words still left him reeling. Only the night before, Tram Thuy had personally bathed him. Though nothing had happened, Phuong Chin would never forget the tenderness of that evening. Each time he thought of her soft hands, her tender lips, his heart raced with youthful passion. So when he saw her in tears the next day, his anger had been immediate. He had abandoned his efforts to refine the Moonlight Gu and sought out Phuong Nguyen for an explanation. Now, confronted with his elder brother's cold demeanor, Phuong Chin hesitated. Seeing his brother's silence, Phuong Nguyen raised an eyebrow. Love is only natural. Be direct about it. Don't hide behind cowardice. If you don't want to exchange the stones, then forget it. Phuong Chin quickly panicked. No, I'll trade. But I don't have 6 full stones. He fumbled for his money pouch, his face flushing with embarrassment. Phuong Nguyen accepted the pouch and counted the stones inside, 6. But one was significantly smaller than a standard primeval stone. He knew immediately that Phuong Chin had drawn out primeval essence to refine his Moonlight Gu, depleting the stone's size and weight. Though the pouch contained only 5.5 stones, Phuong Nguyen was certain this was all his brother had. After all, those 6 stones had once been a gift from their uncle and aunt. I'll take the stones, Phuong Nguyen said coldly, tucking the pouch into his robes. You may leave. Brother. Phuong Chin started to speak again, but Phuong Nguyen narrowed his eyes. Leave now before I change my mind. With no other choice, Phuong Chin bit his lip and turned to leave. As he stepped out of the inn, he clutched his chest, feeling an inexplicable sense of loss. Yet the thought of Tram Thuy quickly heated his heart once more, filling him with excitement. Finally, I can have you all to myself. Thuy, he murmured, walking away without looking back. Phuong Nguyen, expressionless, stood silently for a long moment before slowly sitting back down. The sun shone through the window, casting a cold light on his indifferent face. The inn's dining room was quiet, with only the bustling sounds of the street filtering in from outside, amplifying the stillness inside. His breakfast had grown cold, but he seemed not to notice. The inn servant approached, offering to reheat the meal. But Phuong Nguyen remained lost in thought, his eyes distant and unfocused. The servant, seeing no response, shrugged and walked away, leaving him alone with his memories. Finally, Phuong Nguyen stirred. The haze of nostalgia dissipated as he returned to the present. He felt the pouch of stones hidden beneath his robe and allowed himself a small, bitter smile before the expression vanished. Servant, heat the food again, he said quietly, his voice calm yet cold. During the process of refining the Gu worm, Phuong Nguyen suddenly encountered a backlash. At this moment, the wine Gu, which inherited the formidable will of the winewalker, fiercely invaded his aperture and retaliated violently. The strong willpower ruthlessly crashed into the bronze primeval sea at the bottom of his aperture. The primeval sea churned, rising with towering waves. Under Phuong Nguyen's will, his primeval essence surged upwards, gathering into a raging tidal wave that soared to the sky, ready to meet the powerful will of the wine Gu head-on. The two forces were on the verge of a violent clash in the center of his aperture. But just then, a faint shadow appeared in the empty space above, right between the two opposing forces. It was a cicada. This cicada wasn't particularly large. If the Moonlight Gu resembled a curved blue shard of glass, this cicada looked like an exquisite handicraft, as if shaped from wood and palm leaves by a master artisan. Its head and body were a deep golden brown, and its surface was etched with tree-like growth veins, like a testament to the passage of time. Its wide wings, half translucent, folded gently like 2 overlapping leaves. Veins lined each wing, and their symmetrical patterns mimicked the veins of a leaf, delicate, intricate, and precise. It was the Spring Autumn Cicada. It had been disturbed, like a slumbering beast in a cave suddenly awoken. It realized that its territory had been invaded. Who dares to trespass in my domain? Its dignity violated. The Spring Autumn Cicada unleashed its fury in the form of a powerful aura. Though faint, the aura carried a strength that was overwhelming. It was like a vast galaxy pouring out, waves crashing as if to engulf the entire world in a sea of destruction. Compared to this aura, the will of the Wine Gu was nothing but an ant before an elephant. The aura swept across like an invisible tsunami, the strongest imaginable. The will of the Wine Gu collided with this tidal wave. But it was utterly defenseless and was swallowed whole in an instant. Phuong Nguyen felt a sudden pressure on his chest. The bronze primeval essence he had painstakingly summoned was swept back by the aura. Like ocean waves crashing into an immovable mountain, the condensed essence scattered in all directions like a torrential downpour, returning to the sea of his primeval essence. Crash! The primeval sea surged and roiled under the heavy downpour, growing increasingly turbulent. But after only a few breaths, the aura of the Spring Autumn Cicada descended further, pressing down upon the surface of the sea. Boom! It was as if Phuong Nguyen heard a thunderous roar. In the blink of an eye, the once tempestuous sea of primeval essence became calm, completely stilled. The aura of the Spring Autumn Cicada weighed down on the entire sea like an invisible mountain, making it as flat and smooth as a mirror. It was like a crumpled piece of paper being ironed out by a colossal hand from a giant. This was a power beyond comprehension. Phuong Nguyen felt as though an invisible mountain was pressing on him, much like the mythical Monkey King trapped under the Five Elements mountain. He could not move even a single thread of his primeval essence. Yet, despite his astonishment, Phuong Nguyen was not afraid. Instead, a sense of joy surged in his heart. I never expected the Spring Autumn Cicada to have reincarnated with me. It seems it's not a one-time use GU, but one that can be used again and again. The Spring Autumn Cicada was a 6-turn GU, the first and only 6-turn GU Phuong Nguyen had successfully refined in his previous life. He had poured all his resources and techniques into its creation, taking 30 years of painstaking effort before he finally succeeded. Yet, shortly after, the Righteous Path cultivators, sensing his growing threat, banded together to surround and kill him. After his reincarnation, Phuong Nguyen hadn't sensed the presence of the Spring Autumn Cicada and had assumed it was lost. But in truth, it had merged with his body and fallen into a deep slumber. The drastic reversal of 500 years had drained much of its energy, leaving it incredibly weakened. Even Phuong Nguyen, its master, couldn't feel its presence. Now, though the Spring Autumn Cicada had emerged, its state was still dire. From the moment of his reincarnation, it had been resting and recuperating in its dormant state. It had only surfaced now because it sensed a threat in the aperture. Possibly due to the will of the Wine Gu. It was severely weakened, extremely weakened, fatally weakened. In his memories, the Spring Autumn Cicada had once been vibrant, its body shining like a precious jade card, warm and lustrous. Its wings were a fresh green, like newly sprouted leaves. But now, the once vigorous cicada radiated a sense of decay. Its body no longer shone, appearing rough and dull like a dry branch. Its wings, once green, had turned a withered yellow, like autumn leaves about to fall. And yet, Phuong Nguyen felt both pain and relief at this sight. The pain came from seeing the Spring Autumn Cicada so gravely damaged, teetering on the brink of death as if it were standing at the edge of a cliff. But he was also relieved. Had the cicada been at full strength, he would have been in serious trouble. As every GU master knew, the cultivation level of the GU must match that of the GU master. A first-turn GU master should use first-turn GU worms. This was the most optimal pairing. If a GU's level was lower than the GU master's, it was like giving a strong man a wooden stick. He would have power but no means to use it. But if the GU's level was higher than the GU master's, it was like giving a child a giant hammer. There was desire, but no strength to wield it. The Spring Autumn Cicada was a 6-turn GU, and Phuong Nguyen was only a measly first-turn GU master. In simple terms, the Spring Autumn Cicada was a mountain, and Phuong Nguyen was but a squirrel. How could a squirrel hope to lift a mountain and use it in battle? The mountain would crush the squirrel first. If the Spring Autumn Cicada were in its peak condition, Phuong Nguyen's tiny aperture would have been utterly incapable of containing it. The overwhelming aura alone would have torn his aperture to shreds. killing him instantly. Fortunately, the cicada was so weak that it could now fit within his aperture. I abandoned the moonlight Gu. Going through so much trouble to find the wine Gu. All because I wanted to refine my life-bound Gu. But I already had one all along. My true life-bound Gu is the Spring Autumn Cicada. Phuong Nguyen's heart surged with emotion as he felt the intimate connection between himself and the Spring Autumn Cicada. A life-bound Gu was the first Gu that a Gu master refined. And it was of utmost importance, influencing the future of the Gu master's development. A strong life-bound Gu would help a Gu master grow smoothly, while a poor life-bound Gu would hinder their cultivation, allowing their peers to surpass them. Most crucially, it could determine life or death in battle. Phuong Nguyen knew this very well. Even though the Moonlight Gu was the prized Gu of the Guu clan, he had never been satisfied with it. That was why he had gone through so much trouble to find the Wine Gu. In his memories, the Wine Gu was already considered an excellent choice for a first-turn Gu master. Far superior to the Moonlight Gu, which was merely above average. But life was always full of surprises. One never knew what awaited around the next corner. In his previous life, Phuong Nguyen had refined the Spring Autumn Cicada. After reincarnating, it had fallen into a deep slumber. But their bond remained. Moreover, Phuong Nguyen realized that the Spring Autumn Cicada's connection to him had grown even more mysterious and profound after being tempered by the river of time. The Spring Autumn Cicada was indeed the first Gu he had ever refined, just not in this life. It was the result of 500 years of effort from his previous life. The Spring Autumn Cicada was Phuong Nguyen's true life-bound Gu. A first-turn Gu master with a six-turn life-bound Gu. If anyone were to hear of this, they would never believe it. This defied all conventional understanding. But it was undeniably the truth. The Wine Gu may be the best life-bound Gu for a first-turn Gu master. But compared to the Spring Autumn Cicada, it's nothing but dirt. My true life-bound Gu in this life is the Spring Autumn Cicada. Ha ha ha.